The evening was still, and the scent of charred beef wafted through the room. In my hands, I cradled perfection. A burger. The bun, soft and slightly toasted, hid beneath it a juicy patty, dripping with succulence. Cheese, perfectly melted, hugged the meat, and each bite sent waves of flavor cascading through my mouth. I was in culinary ecstasy. Every chew, a symphony of textures and taste. But then, as the world blurred into the background, there it was, playing on the screen before me. Cop rock. That musical police drama that tried to marry the gritty realities of police work with show tunes. Every note seemed out of place, every dance sequence a jarring distraction. The harmonious experience of the burger suddenly clashed with the discord of the show. I tried to focus on the burger, but the show's audacious absurdity pulled me in. Felt like someone poured sour milk into a vintage wine. The taste in my mouth, once so rich and delightful, now had the taint of off-key singing and misplaced dance breaks. That night, the world lost a joyous man who loved TV and burgers. And from his ashes, like a phoenix, Dark Swanson is born. Now, welcome to the TV Tuners podcast, where even the worst TV can't ruin a good meal. Hopefully. Hi there, folks, and welcome to TV Tuners. It's a television podcast for the true fanatics. It's a weekly dive for the latest in TV news and reviews. I'm your host, Swanson. With me, as always, is my co-host and guy who's got a name because he drinks a lot, Stairmaster.
Hey, Swanson, what happened? You used to shake your ass. Now we just stay home all day.
Who...
That's a
you
different
guy.
guy.
The abusive boyfriend? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I guess there are a lot of people who drink on this show, huh?
I was giving you the guy whose name is like 2 cups or some shit.
Oh,
His name was
sorry.
two
well,
cups
not
because
him.
because he had 2 cups of something, and then he wanted to have sex.
He has less lines of dialogue.
Let it be known that Stair wanted to be the abuser.
Yeah.
Demanded it even.
The backstory boyfriend, as I call him.
And with us, as always, of course, helpful Marine, Kiorein.
Welcome to my Marine recruitment office.
I'm so glad I'm here and away from that abusive Stairmaster.
If you ever crack your egg open and it's got a basketball inside...
hey.
Go on.
Now I
Don't
gotta post
cry.
that to the Twitter.
Don't cry. Or I guess if your egg hatches and it's a basketball, don't cry. Or maybe if a basketball hits your egg and crushes it, don't cry.
I told it that she should be crying tears of joy, but I guess the AI does not understand emotions yet.
Yeah,
Anyways.
if you don't follow us on Twitter, then you won't understand what any of this means.
Anyway, scram, abusive boyfriend. I won't do anything to stop you, but I will intimidate you with my marininess. Goodbye.
Do you think he was going to throw hands?
Wow, you saved my life.
I mean, he probably would have if the boyfriend that continued trying to attack for some reason.
That would have been a better show.
It's the whole action sequence.
Would it really be action? I think that boyfriend would get got like really fast by this Marine guy.
I know, that'd be fun to watch.
No, they had to have like
true.
that scene later where he. Well, they could have still had the scene later where he was like bothering her. I don't think he would have died there, right?
The Marine just kills him. I don't know.
Well, I think he does he puts him in the torture rack.
Which is what
The
they
Lex
call
Luger
Guantanamo
style
Bay.
torture rack, not like the ones that the U.S. intelligence agencies do.
Okay.
I was saying like, oh, he's just gonna start waterboarding him.
No.
Say you're sorry. No,
That's a great idea.
Sorry.
They wouldn't do it now because wrestling has evolved, but back in like the early 2000s, you could have had like a heel wrestler who had like the torture rack and was called like the Guantanamo.
Oh.
Oh, I would love to see that.
But yeah, welcome to another exciting edition of TV Tuners. We're here back again. It's October, everybody. We're here.
Spooky season.
We've all survived. Yeah, true. We've all survived the
hay
zombie
fever
outbreak.
Oh, the 5G zombies?
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't become 5G zombies. We survived. And hopefully, if you're listening, that means you have too.
Yeah, it's like a Walking Dead situation where I'm at right now. Which is not the TV Tuner's house.
Yeah, Gil had to record this remotely because he's surrounded by the undead.
You said you were flying out. Where'd you fly out to?
Well, I'm not telling you because you're going to try to show up here for safety, which you're not going to find
Why
it
would
here.
we-
Well, how are things at the TV Tuner's house? Are you stranded? Like, what's going on?
Things are fine.
No, but it's getting cold.
I mean, yeah, it's getting
Those
cold.
Denver
But also, why
winters.
would we? You just told us there's zombies there. Why did we go?
What about the 5G zombies? I thought there'd be 5G zombies there and easily getting inside because there's no wall on the back half.
Only half of a house? No. Because we're up in the mountains and those block the 5G rays, obviously.
Yeah.
Waves.
Yeah, the radio waves.
Yeah, we don't have any radios up here.
Okay. Well, I'm coming back then. If I
Okay.
can. I don't know if I can.
I mean, it seems like you're in a pretty precarious situation the way you described it.
I'm in Boston. Boston.
Oh. Boston zombies. Those sound like the worst kind of zombies.
Yeah, I don't know why I came here. The plane ticket was cheap. Plane ticket.
Boston zombies be like, brains. Brains. Celtics win another one. Brains. Go Red Sox.
They love their sports teams in Boston, don't they?
Tom
I would say
Brady's a traitor. Brains.
Is it odd that every single one of the 5G zombies here is wearing a sports jersey?
Well, it's Boston, so no. But
Are you sure that the 5G zombies and there wasn't just like a big game recently?
oh yeah, are you sure you're not? Are you at like a stadium right now?
Yeah. Well, I went to the stadium because it's safe here.
Okay, well I think there was probably a game.
Yeah, they get real passionate.
Why are they trying to get in here into like this? There's like I'm in this room, this special room with like all this like it's up high.
You're in like the box seats.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, no wonder there's
So, yeah,
in there.
Like they want to get in here. They're like really banging on the doors trying to get in.
Yeah, Kia, I think you should just let them in. They're not. They don't. I don't think they're zombies, man.
They're gonna kill me. They told me that.
Well, that's just like how Boston's. Like that's just how they talk. Like they're gonna kill you because you're not letting them in.
They want to see the
Okay,
game,
but
Gio.
But they're gonna kill me. Like
Well, maybe
they're serious.
You deserve to die.
Have you considered?
I'm just trying to be
Have you
safe.
considered unlocking the door and jumping out of the front?
that's a long drop.
Well, perhaps the crowd will surf you to freedom.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try that after we're done recording. I think they can wait an hour, right?
Yeah, I'm sure the game will still be going on.
And sorry if there's a lot of noise in the background from this crowd of zombies.
Bostonians.
Well, again, not zombies, I don't think. But I'll be sure to edit it out with my keen editing ability.
Yeah, edit out that guy who just said he called us a bad word zombie.
Oh, did he Michael Richards us?
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, that's TV Tuners Podcast. We watched a great show this week. We're ready to talk about the news.
Yeah, but before we get into any of that, of course, if you're listening, you have any quips, comments, questions, foresights, otherwise, why not send them to us at our email address, and we can read them aloud on the podcast. That's right. All you got to do is send it to tvtunerspodcast@gmail.com. What's that email, Kiorein? tvtunerspodcast@gmail.com. That's right. And of course, emails aren't the only thing that I like to mention at the top of the show. I have a question that I love to ask.
Okay. Yeah?
What'd you guys watch this week? Anything fun, interesting? Something you want to talk about?
Oh?
Yeah. I rewatched part of Kaiji.
Which part?
I watched I don't know, I jumped around a bit. I don't know why I jumped around a bit, but I watched I guess I watched the second half of it where they were off the boat hanging out.
Kia wanted to watch the top 10 most despairing moments of Kaiji.
That's good to hear.
I also watched the part where he does the dice game. That was a fun bit.
I watched Snitch, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
And for the record, that's a tune in on Kaiji.
Oh, okay.
It's a great program.
I watched Snitch, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Directed by Rick Roman. Wog.
Go on. Explain.
So,
snitching on?
The Rock's son gets arrested for dealing ecstasy because he picked up a package that his friend mailed to him. After they had a Skype call about, hey, I want to deal 2,000 pounds of ecstasy. Can you pick up this package for me? He's like, yeah, man.
Yeah, don't do federal crimes on Skype.
True.
So he's going to face a federal minimum of 10 years. So The Rock has to go undercover.
To do what?
To infiltrate the drug cartel so he can get the DA to release his son.
Okay, this seems more fraught than even a usual movie starring The Rock.
Well, it's interesting because this is early The Rock. Well, not early, but 2013, before, his career stagnated.
Before he's a giant man, who has to, every time he's on the screen, they have to have some explanation for why he's so big.
So the first thing he does is talk to the DA and just get told to fuck off. So he's like, I'm going to do this on my own. So he immediately goes to Wikipedia and looks up drug cartels. And skims over
and it works?
Yeah, and guess what happens?
I can't possibly guess.
He drives to a street corner, tries to buy crack, and then immediately gets his ass beat. He doesn't even get any blows in. They just pull him out of the car and stomp.
Oh wow! So this is The Rock before he decided he couldn't lose battles.
Yeah, he's surprisingly vulnerable in this, physically and emotionally. Did I mention he's divorced? Because of course he's divorced.
Well,
it's a son from his previous marriage. So there's
The Rock is divorced dad energy.
Scenes of him arguing with his wife that he shouldn't be going undercover in the drug cartel. And so that doesn't work, so he's like, I will look at my employees at the construction company that I own to find an ex-con. And so in comes John Barenthal, who was a former member of the drug cartels.
Oh, that's convenient.
And he sort of just pressures him, bribes him into going back into a life of crime, even though he's been desperately trying to stay clean. So John Barenthal takes him to Michael K. Williams' house.
What?
Yeah, he's in this.
Okay, now I'm interested.
Yeah, he's like the regional guy.
Dang.
So how does this all work out? Give me the spoilies.
Well, so Michael K. Williams like, all right, we have a deal. You will drive this truck down to Arizona to pick up the coke. And so they do, and then like the drug guys are picking up get ambushed by other drug guys. And you get the scene of them trying to get the truck out of this junkyard while firefights going on around them.
You hate to see it.
Yeah.
So it's good?
Yeah. What? Yeah.
Does The Rock go to prison at the end of the movie? Does this plan somehow work out for him?
It somehow works out. There is a car chase scene at the end where he kills like 8 cartel sicarios with a shotgun while driving the semi-truck away from them, carrying all their money.
I feel like in the real world, that boy would just go straight to prison for his minimum sentence.
The crazy thing is, this is based off of a true story. Or so the posters.
I don't know if you can trust that.
Wait, what's this I'm reading right here, Star? Snitch 2, Day of the Soldado, coming soon?
Hey, John Barenthal shoots up Michael K. Williams' gang at the end, too.
Dang.
So yeah, it's a good movie, I guess. And by good, I mean I get average.
Alright.
It really should have been about... Really, it's Michael K. Williams and John Barenthal you're there for. Not Dwayne Johnson, even though he's got like 80% of the film time.
Yeah, that sounds right. Anything else?
No. Oh, I watched The Presidio with Sean Connery and Guy Geisen.
What's that all about?
Okay, so like this military police lady gets shot while investigating a break-in at like the storehouse in the Presidio in San Francisco. So this cop is sent to investigate it, and he used to be a military police guy too. And Sean Connery is his ex-commanding officer, so it's sort of like a buddy cop movie. The weird thing is that it's like 80% buddy and 20% cop. Like the bad guy, the titular criminal mastermind only gets like 2 scenes in the whole movie. One where he's introduced.
That's no good.
Yeah, it's mostly about Sean Connery and detective guy and Meg Ryan and all of their emotional hang-ups.
They're like, oh yeah, we need a bad guy in this.
Yeah. There's a scene where Sean Connery beats up a guy in a bar fight using only his thumb, which dads everywhere love. Or at least mine did.
That's cool. Yeah, that makes sense. That's pretty cool.
Anyways, it's on Amazon right now. So I guess watch it if you don't have anything better to do. Or don't. That's my opinion.
Let's see. I watched a film called El Conde, which I believe is Spanish for The Count. Which is... it's a Chilean film about Pinochet, dictator Pinochet being a immortal vampire.
Oh, yeah.
And it takes place after the fall of his dictatorship, and he's just like sort of living out the rest of his days depressed because the people have turned on him.
I wonder why.
It's a fun little movie. It definitely plays like the idea that it came up with, that fascists are actually vampires, is like a bold idea that it came up with. It plays that a little too much, but it's fun. It's got some shocking violence, but it's also very beautifully shot. There is a twist that happens near the end of the film that I think is apparently is very divisive according to Letterboxd, but I thought cinched the film as a slight tune in.
What, does George H.W. Bush show up?
Spoilers. No, Margaret Thatcher shows up as a vampire.
That's good. That's good. That's a good side.
She's the vampire that sired Pinochet.
True.
Sired who now?
At the end of this movie, Margaret Thatcher shows up as the mother vampire to Pinochet.
That's a tune-in for me.
And that really seals the deal for me. There's a whole like subplot where Pinochet's shit kids are trying to like get money from him and like orchestrate his death, and then he just leaves them with nothing and goes off with his mom, Margaret Thatcher. It's a good movie. I feel like maybe not all of the comedy landed for me, but I think it was mostly a good time. Tune in. Speaking of good times, I watched Halloween today.
Oh,
that's good.
Well, everyone deserves one good scare.
Yeah, that movie has at least has more than one, I'd say. It's the perfect like just turn it on and you don't have to pay attention until like the last 30 minutes movie.
Oh, so what you're saying is most of it is filler?
You can just come in and out, and you're not missing crucial details. But if you watch the whole thing, you get fun details. Like my favorite part of the movie still, which is when they walk into the house and Loomis is just like, "He ate the dog." Like Michael just chowing down on a dog is always a funny visual to me. But
okay, I did some extreme hardcore research on Google and
the Halloween franchise.
No, I researched your movie about, what was it called? Snitch?
Yeah.
Fake.
Fake movie?
Debunked.
Oh?
It's not a real movie?
No, I mean, like, there was nobody released from a 10-year drug possession federal charge because his dad...
This was before the trial.
According to... Google, which I spent 5 minutes on, he pled and there was no trial.
Oh.
And he went to prison. But I don't know. Just take when a movie says based on a true story, just take it with the biggest grain of salt you can possibly
I can't believe this.
Put in your mouth.
Okay, Wikipedia does have this line for Snitch, which they say, the writers were inspired by a frontline documentary about how changes to the federal drug policy in the United States encourage the incarcerated to snitch on their accomplices.
Oh, the true story, he didn't even accomplish anything whatsoever.
Right?
Well, The Rock couldn't have a movie with The Rock where he doesn't accomplish anything.
Well, he does all this effort and just gets nothing from it, like in the real world, yeah.
Yeah, you can't do that with The Rock. Like, the most subversive you're ever going to get with The Rock is like Pain and Gain.
Yeah, what a shame.
Anyway, Halloween, tune in.
Yeah, tune in. Sorry, I wasn't listening to your synopsis there, Swanson. I was too busy furiously Googling this story that I did not believe. I'm like a Redditor now. I debunk people.
It's the only thing that brings him joy.
Yeah. I'm a debunker.
I guess there's worse things to be.
Yeah. Like? I live a wretched existence. Go ahead, Swanson.
Well, to transition to the last thing I watched, one of the things you could be is the creator of Black Mirror, which I finished the latest season of.
Uh-oh. What happened?
It was more of the same stuff. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, that's actually a lie, because they did try some new stuff. I just think it didn't work. But there were 2 okay episodes out of the 5-episode run, which was the one we watched, which I didn't think was okay. Right. And then one with Aaron Paul that involves astronauts having like clones that they inhabit the boat from, like the astronauts are up in space and can't get back down and have to stay up there for a while. So they have these clone bodies that they inhabit on Earth.
Okay.
some stuff happens. A Manson-like murder happens to one of the clone bodies, and the guy is like stuck up in space.
Okay, I have one question. I have one question for this already, Swanson.
Yeah.
This is what Black Mirror always does. Why don't they put the clone in space?
Yeah, it's a brilliant question. Doesn't get answered.
That's what they did in Moon.
But yeah, no, it's not great. Anyway, that episode I was just talking about was all right, mainly because Aaron Paul does a great performance because he's Aaron Paul.
Yeah, I can see him saving it. Yeah.
The last 2 episodes of the season are the real head scratcher ones. The 4th episode is about this paparazzo who is on these paparazzi folk are on the hunt of a celebrity who's checked herself into a rehab facility after vehicular manslaughter. And they're trying to get photos of this lady. And first off, we're doing a paparazzi story in 2023, and it's set.
Nobody has any privacy anymore.
But also, it's set in 2004. Why?
Oh, huh? A period piece.
But anyway, in the twist that this is really straight up things that make you go, huh? Which is the twist is that she's the celebrity is in rehab because she's a werewolf.
That is just huh?
That's like a fucking ad lib.
It turns out that she's because she's in one of those wellness retreats that the rich and famous go to, and it turns out that it's just she's a werewolf and she slaughters all these people. And then the episode ends with... And I feel like this is one of those cases, and it happens a lot with episodes of Black Mirror, where you're like, oh, you thought of a cool ending, or a fun ending, and you wrote backwards. So she turns back into... after a bloody encounter with a bunch of people, she turns back into herself, and is getting ready to shoot herself in the head with a gun to make sure she doesn't turn back into a werewolf. And the paparazzo lady that we've been following takes out her camera and gets ready to snap a photo.
Who fucking cares? What? Who fucking cares? There's a fucking werewolf that killed 80 people.
Well, yeah, the tabloids will care because the werewolf was a celebrity. You see. Anyway, and then the last episode of Black Mirror is called says it's presented by Red Mirror, which I guess is Charlie Brooker, the creator, is trying to do a horror version of Black Mirror. So this last episode has no technology whatsoever, and it's just a horror story.
As opposed to
but here's the rub. Well, yeah, this is after the werewolf thing, which is why it's even more confusing. Here's the rub. The story isn't scary at all. Nothing about it. There's no horror elements to it at all.
Well,
there's slight, I don't know, he's definitely trying to do, some 70s horror stuff, but nothing about it is actually scary. This lady, it's Britain in the 70s, this Middle Eastern woman, or maybe...
70s horror? Yeah. Do we get to see any nudity?
No.
Oh, what's the point?
Is this horror where they think it's scary that Frankenstein's monster is there?
Sort of, because a lot of it is just the implied horror. Occasionally, you do see her beat someone with a hammer once, but that's not is that scary?
I would hate to be in that situation.
Well, to be fair, she is doing it to someone who murdered his wife.
I'd hate to also be murdered.
Yeah, fair.
I mean, I don't think violence is horror. It's just violence.
It's this immigrant lady from in Britain who has to deal with all this racism because she lives in Britain. And
but is there a racism monster?
Not technically. It's just a demon who says that like she has to sacrifice 3 people in order to prevent the apocalypse.
Oh, that's scary.
And the demon takes the form of like a 70s soul singer.
That's scary.
And they team up together to try and kill some people. The only briefly scary thing, or like even like kind of spooky, is that you see like the shadow, like the outline of his original demonic form, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, you can't handle that." And it turns into. But it's fine. It's like capital F fine. As you might expect, it ends with the world blowing up.
I was not expecting that.
Because she can't. So she kills
she doesn't
2
do the
people.
sacrifice.
She kills 2 people, and then she becomes dead set on killing this far right politician. Because the demon can show her visions of what people's future will bring, so she can sense that the person she's going to kill was going to like be a shitty dad or whatever.
Oh, so
and
it's like
feel justified.
the Dead Zone.
Sort of, yes. And she sees the vision of what this guy is going to do, and she becomes dead set on killing this guy. And he's like, no, my bosses really like him, actually. You probably shouldn't. Then he keeps being like, man, you could kill all these other people. Look at all these other people in your life that you could kill. And she keeps ignoring him. And then the police officer who's been tracking her catches her right before she can deliver the killing blow to this politician guy. And she goes to, they interrogate her, and it's too late. The clock has struck on the 3rd day, and the apocalypse happens. Oh yeah, this is also set in the 70s, so it's there's Cold War panic and whatnot.
Who cares? Fuck Black Mirror. Fuck you. Fuck everything. I want to go.
Anyway, home. Yeah, it's a tune out for this season of Black Mirror. The series is the hit ratio don't hit.
Yeah, just go watch Striking Vipers.
Yes.
which we now retroactively recommend based on Stairmaster saying this.
Never mind.
I would say there are still the 2 episodes that I said I liked from this season are still better than Striking Vipers. Everything else is not.
I would take Striking Vipers over whatever I watched that first episode. That garbage.
But anyway,
at least that one had me thinking about video games, thinking about sex, thinking about sex with my homies, but one of them's a woman. Pretty good stuff. Okay.
What if I was a weird bear thing? Panda bear? I forgot what it was.
But yeah, it turns out that even when they're trying to do something different, Black Mirror still is very uneven. Tune out.
Sad.
That's it for me. I guess that's it for this. So with that out of the way, let's get to the news, huh?
It should be quick.
Strike's over.
Well,
one of them.
Yay.
Which one?
The writer's strike is officially over. That's right, folks. The WGA got basically all of their major concessions from the studios because they caved big time. Eat shit, studios.
How do things look for the Screen Actors Guild?
Well, they're going back to the negotiating table, which is a good sign since the studios had refused to do that until this point.
I hope they get whacked hard.
The unions?
The unions.
You want the unions to be...
You want Hollywood to bring in the mafia to take them out?
Yeah, define whacked, Kiorein.
I want that pesky union taken care of for good.
Well, here are some of the terms of the new deal. They all sound pretty nice. Yearly minimum pay increases of 3.5 to 5% over the next 3 years for writers. Strict limitations on the uses of AI by both studios and writers. Residual compensation for writers who work on streaming shows and movies. Plus, and this is a big one if the details come out, limited visibility on the streaming company's data.
Wow.
That precious Netflix data that they keep locked up in their Netflix tower.
So this means they have to give away their information to some extent?
Yeah, so that they know they're not lying by saying like, oh, your streaming show did this amount, so that's why we're paying you 2 cents.
Nice.
A minimum size of 3 writers for writers' rooms and minimum contract lengths. Increased foreign residuals and some other residual business.
This sounds like a really great time for organized labor in general, so I'm dreading the next couple of elections.
Yeah, I'm sure this will all lead to good things. Every time we go slightly to the left, things turn out great in this country, so that makes sense.
There's never been a Thermidor reaction in this country. Thermidor?
I want Biden to come out against this really hard.
I don't know, man. He was on the picket line for the auto workers, which is the only cool thing he's ever done.
Yeah, only months after he shut down the rail worker strike.
Yeah, he really should have just not done that one, huh?
America's a land of contrasts.
I want Biden to reveal that he was only at the picket line because he was planting explosives to blow up the workers.
Oh, he's in some first reform shit. Biden showing up with a bomb vest on.
I'd fuck with that.
But yeah, the WGA got what they wanted, so now SAG-AFTRA is doing the hard work of what they wanted. But that's one strike down, one more to go. So we're still supporting the strikes. We're still not, focused on any other.
And that's why we will not be reviewing any TV shows until the strikes are concluded.
Oh, that puts a damper on the next segment.
The show?
How's your day been, guys?
Good.
Bad.
I had some salmon and rice. That was nice.
Oh.
That sounds
You
pretty
said
good.
your day was bad, Kio? Is that because you're still trapped in that sporting arena?
Yeah, the 5G zombies have been going nuts.
Yeah, I think they're just people.
I don't know. The way they're driving their cars seems pretty like zombie-like.
They're driving their cars? Excuse me?
That's just how people drive on the East Coast, Keo.
Into stadiums.
Wait, are you in a race car? Are you?
Oh, wait, are you like on a NASCAR event?
I went on a whole
Boston?
adventure. Do you think I didn't teleport to the stadium?
Are you sure you're in Boston?
I got a rental. I got a rental car from the 5G zombies now, and I drove it to the stadium.
And you drove it inside this? I think you're at a racing event. And
I drove it to the stadium, not inside the stadium.
But people are driving in the stadium, you said?
I think
no.
Was this just a bad choice of words, Keo? Is this what you're
like saying you wanted to whack somebody should whack the unions.
I don't. Is my voice not coming in clear for you guys?
No, we hear the words you're saying. That's
okay. What I'm saying was, understand the words that are coming out of your mouth.
What I'm saying was, I went through a whole adventure which has culminated at me being at the stadium, but. It's like The Walking Dead. They go from place to place. There's an adventure at every location.
It is true. They always do traveling on that show.
Yeah, they do. And that's one of the things that I always loved about that show was that every location there was an adventure. It didn't take 5 episodes to get to something exciting. Definitely not a glacially paced program.
Remember when Whitcock and Shane accidentally went to the fake planet Namek?
So yeah, part of the adventure was driving to the stadium in my rental car that I got from the 5G zombies, and it's pretty clear that the way they're driving that they're zombies. That's all I'm saying.
Look at how they're driving, Carl. They're zombies. They're walkers.
Motorists these days.
Yeah, they didn't say zombies in The Walking Dead, Swanson. I can't believe you would even use that word.
They're walkers.
They're drivers.
Nobody in the Walking Dead universe has ever heard the word zombie, and they would never say it.
Ooh, sequel to The Walking Dead, The Driving Dead? They're drivers. We got drivers. It's just like, ooh, we got some Zoomers. Oh yeah, that's a great way to corner the Yellowstone boomer market.
I really want them to bring in some advanced zombies into The Walking Dead. By the way, is that show over yet?
Yeah,
it's very much over, but there's like spin-offs and stuff that I've avoided us watching.
Yeah, like I told you before, I wanted a turtleneck zombie that couldn't be decapitated because he has an armored turtleneck. I want a zombie with mind powers, and I want a NASCAR zombie.
Keo, it sounds like you want less The Walking Dead and you want more Resident Evil.
Yes.
There's sort of different flavors of zombies as you move along in the game.
I want that, but in a TV show.
If I recall, you tuned out on the Resident Evil show that we watched, Keo.
Did I watch it with you?
Did you?
I think so, but also Keo was justified in doing that because it was
I don't remember this at all. When did you watch this?
The White House was full of zombies, Keo, remember?
Leon
had to save the president.
Oh,
Leon Cassidy.
Yeah, it was like animated. I remember that.
Rats.
I remember that.
Yeah,
that was cool.
The submarine was full of zombie rats.
That was a great show. Tune in on
that show.
That show that was basically like a long cutscene from a retroactive tune in.
Yeah.
A very long, very boring cutscene from one of the games.
What do you mean boring? There were zombies and stuff.
Was Wesker even in it?
No.
Yeah, so tune out. Needs more Wesker.
Yeah, no, I would just enjoy The Walking Dead just suddenly having this, like, the lore is, they ran out of ideas, so now they're bringing in Resident Evil knockoff.
Here's a daddy long leg spider that can shoot venom and webs.
Yeah. That's scary.
I would think, yeah, that is really scary, but I would think it would still be like a guy. Like, still just like a guy.
Oh, yeah, the top half is a guy.
Oh no.
The bottom half is the spider half.
Right. Nightmare.
I don't like that.
That's what The Walking Dead needed, was some truly nightmarish zombies.
Yeah, like a zombie that drives a NASCAR.
Okay,
I guess that sort of defeats the point, which, as we all know, is that the people are The Walking Dead.
Yes. And so are we if we don't.
Dead.
And so are we if we don't get to our program we watched this week.
Oh yeah, it's almost like we're putting it off. Let's get to our main event, huh? We watched a show, and now we're going to talk about it. Special Ops again? Lioness. Oh, what?
I said, what's it called again? And you started saying what it was called.
Special Ops Lioness is the latest show from Yellowstone and Tulsa King creator Taylor Sheridan.
Pedigrees what this got.
Focuses on Force Recon Marine Cruz Manuelos, who is tasked with befriending the daughter of a terrorist financier who is on the CIA's kill list and works with a special group known as, of course, Lioness. Did Special Ops Lioness sign you up for the military experience, or did it leave you with a frying pan in the face?
Wait, so the spy lady, the lady who's going undercover is the protagonist, not the woman we spent the entire episode learning her backstory?
That's Cruz
That's what you're telling me?
That's Cruz Manuelos, yeah.
So, we just wasted like 45 minutes learning about this lady? And 0 minutes on the actual hero?
No, she's the lady I just described in the intro is the lady we followed.
She doesn't go undercover though. She's just watching.
She's tasked with befriending the daughter. Yeah, she befriended the daughter.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't mention the lady who's actually going undercover.
Oh, you mean Zoe Saldana?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, she does not get mentioned in the despite being top billed, biggest face on the poster. She does not get mentioned.
And she also doesn't get very much screen time in this first episode.
But can we talk about...
Yeah, I guess not.
Can we talk about how this story uses a very obnoxious storytelling technique where they do a flashback to give the backstory, but it's like not related to the actual story being told?
Well, it's irrelevant. It's relevant, Keo. You know, because this is gonna play into things at some point. I bet.
Like the husband's gonna come back, and it turns out he's working for ISIS.
Oh, you mean that part? I thought you meant the hostage explosion sequence. Not the hostage, the undercover, the cover being blown, and the drone explosion and all that.
No, that directly leads into the next part of the story. Like, so it does the thing where it shows, like, you know, the whole sequence where they're out in the desert, and there's a really convincing scene here. Wow, guys, you really did it. And you know, she's like talking to people on the walkie-talkie, saying, "Do this, do that." And she's like, "Oh, well, I'm an army person. I can peer over a wall and talk into a radio. I'm real hot shot."
Also, they don't say what country they are in. We don't have any reason why the U.S. military is just hunkered down in this country.
Right. Yeah.
Or why these people might want to kill them.
Well, they're ISIS. Come on, buddy. Come on.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, they say they're ISIS. Also, we don't get any dialogue from them. They don't mention
they're ISIS until after we've seen that entire opening sequence.
Yeah. Well, they're just Middle Eastern people. Like, who cares? Okay. Obviously, I don't think that, but that's what the show writers apparently assume.
I mean, that's the general message of the show. Yeah. Also, did you guys catch the 2 seconds of Nicole Kidman we got in this first episode? She's Zoe Saldana's boss, who talks to her in that debriefing for like 2 seconds. Can you guess how what she's billed as on the poster? She's third. She's the fifth build on the poster. Her face is prominently on it. She shows up for 2 seconds in this. She's right next to Morgan Freeman, who shows up for 0 seconds in this episode and is billed fourth.
I'm sure she'll be back and very important later on, Swanson. Come on.
Yeah, I'll turn out she's working for ISIS.
Okay, so basically the operation has fallen apart because the undercover agent has been comparomized and she has to order a drone strike.
Cross tattoo on her teeth.
Yeah, they mention... they later bring up the same point that I said, which they sent the lady with the cross tattoo undercover. So they do lampshade it, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. But I did have in my notes, who are they fighting exactly? Because they don't specify until later that it's ISIS. For now, all we know is that it's just they're in Syria and they're fighting somebody.
Either way, though, like we get a flashback. It's kind of like the storytelling device where they're basically saying they show you where they end up, and they're like, "Here's how we got there," but it's just very. Basically, they show this lady like she's living a very urban life.
She's living in like that house from that one episode of Breaking Bad where Jesse has to get his money back.
Yes.
She's living like if someone other than David Simon wrote The Wire.
Oh.
So yeah, she's working fast food, making an honest living, and then she goes home to this like house full of like the worst people.
She goes home and to her cartoon boyfriend,
who's
sitting there playing the game.
Rude.
He's playing the game. He's smoking a blunt, drinking. The moment she walks in, he says, "Where's my shake?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "You didn't ask for a shake." He said, "I asked for a burger. Then I text you again. I asked for a shake." He's like, "I don't know why you work at that job anyway." And our hero slut shames another lady.
Yeah, she demeans sex work, which we're supposed to be behind, I guess. So
we're supposed to think that she's noble because she says she won't shake her ass for money.
Which she apparently had done before, but quit because she respects herself too much.
As he so elegantly puts it, you don't shake your ass, you don't do drugs, you don't drink, you don't do nothing.
I think he even said she doesn't have sex anymore, which...
Yeah.
Am I wrong in recalling that?
I think he does say you don't fuck or something like that.
Maybe he meant like for money. I think that's what he meant.
I think his friend at one point says you need to switch in a new model.
Yes. Yes, he does. There's a lot to unpack with this scene because it's just so instantaneous. Like, this guy is just not a real person. In like not even in like a fake TV way.
Yeah, it's like she goes home and there's like cartoon jackals there, like heckling her, and then of course the boyfriend is not just verbally abusive but also physically abusive. So it's like, you know, this is getting some real like sympathy points out of me. It's like, wow, I really feel for her. She really went through a lot. Why is she here?
She's not even the main character. This isn't her show.
I mean, according to the description I read, she is the main character, but she's just not billed.
She's not doing the thing that the description's about. So
yeah, but she's running the show. She's calling the shots. She's the big boss on the scene, talking to people, doing things.
She's telling people to flip the burgers, so that means she's the hero of the story.
Yes. Exactly.
But yeah, she she wakes up the next day and she's like, I'm getting out of here. He's like, What are you talking about? And she hits him with a frying pan.
So this was premeditated, clearly, because she was in the bedroom with the frying pan, like she was planning to do this.
Right.
I thought she was supposed to be like smart. Like, why couldn't she have thought of a plan that would like solve the problem, not just like
involve her running around asking for help?
Well, when your life is complete shit like that, there's been studies that prove that immense stressors like that will drop your IQ.
I guess so.
So yeah.
But she's able to really recover from that by joining the Marines very fast and start passing written tests with flying colors immediately. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, that's because she's in a shelter where she isn't in constant threat of physical and emotional violence.
I don't think you recover from that over like how. I guess maybe there was a long time skip that we didn't see. Maybe is that what happened?
There is, because there's like I think a year or so.
Are you saying that this is a cinema sin? A plot hole so big you could drive a truck through it?
I just think that like it was kind of silly how that went down. Where she makes a plan to get out of there. The plan is to hit him with a frying pan and then runs down the street.
Yeah. I guess the plan was hit him in the head and hope it knocked him out, but it didn't.
Yeah, she could have just left, I think, right?
I feel like you're not supposed to think.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, so she's running around asking for help because this guy's he's gonna kill her. And where does she land? What in the military propaganda is this fucking shit? She lands in a recruitment office for the Marines.
Because that's the only guys who are open that time early in the morning.
I guess, apparently. And he immediately, some big Marine dude's just like, we got a problem here? And he's like, your problem is with the U.S. Marines.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty cool moment, but it was also extremely stupid. But it was fun.
But we don't get to see him beat the shit out of this guy.
Oh no, he just intimidates him and he runs off and he does not learn a lesson from this at all.
Because then he comes to our workplace later.
Right. And this is when I was thinking like, well, there were two reasons why I was thinking this. So she is cleaning down everything. She is scrubbing it down. She needs to work for Gus Fring.
Yes. And like Gus
but also
Fring
because
is a wanted Hispanic visitor at the restaurant.
Right. And if there were people at the restaurant waiting for it, we should have had a scene of something like this happening with Gus. Like, what would Gus even do?
I think that Honestly, after the Marine recruiter showed up, they should have just cut back to the present. We didn't need to see the rest. Oh, she joined the Marines after meeting the Marine recruiter. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't... Yeah.
We had
you
to
didn't
see
need
her...
the scenes of her training so hard and everyone being like, no woman is capable of this.
They also had to show the scene of her in the shelter. Also, you said she was in a shelter. That was not a low-stress situation. It was like...
I mean, compared to before, it's sort of a minor upgrade.
Yeah, it's a minor upgrade, but it was extremely crowded and full of, like, coughing and crying children. I don't know how long I would last there.
Yeah. Oh, also the military, the Marine man has a line that I wrote down because I thought it was very funny as like an ethos thing for the show, which is, in war, if you ain't cheating, you're not trying. Which I guess is sort of the U.S. foreign policy for the last 80 years.
This motto apparently went far because someone unrelated made that same quote later, right?
She does. She makes the quote.
Oh, she made the quote. Okay, I wasn't paying attention apparently.
Yeah, so... But here's the thing about that scene where the guy comes back to stalk her place of employment. You can tell this is a work of fiction because they call the police and there are like 5 police cars there, and the police officer is like, listen, we're going to take you somewhere safe, all right? We're going to make sure you're taken care of. None of that would happen. You'd get one guy maybe, and he would be like, do you feel threatened?
Yeah.
Well, when you call the police, it's like rolling.
Yeah, she could have ended up dead, and that's.
It's like rolling a die. It's like, you roll a 1, you get the cop that just comes and starts shooting people.
Yeah, she rolled a 20 apparently, which was that nobody was doing anything that day, so all 5 police cars were like, we got nothing to do.
Yeah, and like if you roll a 10, you get like a couple of cops who come out and they like say, well,
also they arrest this guy just for sitting outside a restaurant.
They don't arrest him, do they?
No, they got him. It looks like
they take him. They're telling him to leave. I'm assuming. I don't think we see him get arrested or anything. I'm not sure. Maybe he did get arrested.
I think they just tell him like you should go home or something. I don't think they arrest him at all because she was afraid for her life that night. Like. She needed to go to the shelter right away.
Yeah, so then she enlists in the Marines, and she's so good. They're like, they're like, guys, you gotta do this, ladies, you gotta do this. She's like, what if I do the guys thing? He's like, all right. And she does she breaks like a record for this sergeant, and then some higher up dude's like, I need to talk to her. And he's like, I'm looking at your scores. No woman has ever done this.
I'm so glad the Marines fixed this woman who was so traumatized or whatever.
Yeah, and essentially their scene boils down to him being like, did you have a life? And she's like, no. He's like, well, you do now. It belongs to the U.S. military. Welcome aboard.
And she's like, oh, that sounds good.
That sounds
if this
healthy.
were like... If you look at it from a different perspective, not the one the show is presenting to you, this is actually an extremely depressing tale.
Where the only way out of a life situation where you're completely miserable is to join the military. And
where you get conscripted into a secret into a special ops organization that involves you having to go undercover and risking your life every day.
Yeah, so the backstory of this woman being in an abusive relationship and then joining the Marines, it was not a suitable explanation for that at all to me.
We didn't need an explanation.
Well, you might have needed an explanation if the reason was...
If you're a weirdo who cares about...
I mean, if the reason was actually related to the operation she was doing in some way, but it wasn't. So.
Yeah, because her ex is going to be the head of ISIS.
I agree with what you're saying about the X thing, although I do feel like her background is probably going to come up a couple times. She's going to say something about, like... Because, listen, this is a show, like the other shows I mentioned by Taylor Sheridan, that is clearly aimed at the boomers. At some boomers, maybe a couple Gen X folk. But here's what I'm saying. They're gonna get to a thing where they're gonna say, like, there's gonna be a Middle Eastern man who's, like, abusive or something. And she's gonna be like,
no.
I've dealt with this.
Oh no! Oh God! Swanson, please. Please don't be right about this.
If that doesn't happen, I would be shocked.
You're right. I mean, like, I didn't think of this, and now that you've said it, I know a fact that you're correct.
I mean, they have her put on a hijab, so obviously they gotta. It's so obviously.
And the two ladies will, like, befriend each other more after she opens up, like, about it and stuff.
I was so sure. I'm sorry, I was not sure. I was so fixated on the fact that they just misused this storytelling device that I didn't even realize what they were going for here with this program. They're playing the long game where they're not trying to explain why she was in this operation. They're just trying to explain why 5 episodes later she's upset about somebody being abusive.
Yeah, I mean, I just felt like they're definitely going to bring that back into frame at some point, like, in the worst possible way. And the worst possible way I could think of was mild racism. I guess it's not even mild.
I love it, Swanson. This is a great show. We're tuning in on this one, right?
Anyway, so we get abused lady number 2, who Lioness forces to strip.
No, this is the same lady, Stair. I think you're confused.
What?
This is the same woman.
Wait, what do you mean same woman?
This is the same woman we saw throughout the show.
No, there's 2 women.
Yes, there's the leader of the Lioness organization, but the one who's forced to, like, be strip searched and stuff is the lady we've been following.
Yeah, we're back at the present now that we completed the flashback.
Yeah, and the woman she made strip was also abused.
Yeah, did you not? Were you zoning out like I was?
Oh wait, I'm confused about what you mean by also abused. The lady we saw in the flashback is the lady who strips.
No.
Yes. She is not Zoe Saldana.
Oh.
Really? I thought I'm apparently very confused by this show. I have face blindness.
Oh, maybe that would make sense then. Huh. Or maybe Swanson's wrong.
No, I am not wrong. I looked at the 2 different faces.
That's crazy. How did I not notice this? How did both the Stairmaster and I make the same mistake? Are you sure, Swanson? We're 2 to 1
I'm 100% positive. They have 2 different names. That they both go by different names, and the description that they were discussing that I said at the start of this, Cruz Manuelos is the lady that we've been following this whole time. She looks slightly different after she joins the military. But it's the same person.
I don't care anymore.
But yeah,
what I do care about is that they get her drunk right and hungover right before she's supposed to go undercover.
Yeah, that's smart. That's just smart military tactics there. Yeah, we get introduced to this whole team after she goes through this whole strip search routine because Zoe Saldana's character is like, she's told, like, hey, make sure they don't have any tattoos. She's like, all right. And so she makes sure, I guess.
Well, Nicole Kidman's like that. Tells her that.
Yeah, for the 2 seconds she's on screen. And
her boss is Walt Goggins, isn't it?
No, it's a different guy who looks similar to Walt Goggins. Michael Kelly is this guy's name. He was in Jack Ryan.
I don't care.
All right, I assumed that was a show you knew.
We tuned out on that, remember?
Yeah, I don't remember what the guy does in Jack Ryan. He says that's what they say he was in. Oh, he's Agent Ron Goddard in The Sopranos. So there you go. But yeah, he's also on this show. Gets billing ahead of Nicole Kidman and Morgan Freeman. So he apparently has a decent role in this. He's probably the guy who's like secretly ISIS. Anyway, yeah, she joins the team. She meets all the people. She meets all the folks. 2 cups.
All these obnoxious freaks. What's up with these shows? And they just have like a group of like obnoxious men. Like,
I got bad news about the Special Forces community, Keo. I got very bad
wait
news.
till you hear about the U.S. military.
They don't have to have these characters in the show. They can write whatever they want.
Wait a bit until you hear about the Fort Bragg murders.
True, Keo, but they are trying to go for like a semblance of realism here. So I guess in this one aspect they do.
I don't get the impression that they wanted us to dislike these characters, though. I think they think that they're charming.
Oh no, they think these characters are cool, 100%. Yeah, they think they're all cool characters.
I'm saying if they had framed them as actually obnoxious people who are to be disliked, I might give it a pass. But they're just like, look at these wacky guys. These are our guys. They're going to be here for the show.
These are our heroes, Keo. You can't, Keo, are you saying you don't stand with the U.S. military?
Yes.
If you don't support our troops, Keo, you need to get out. Get out! If you can't stand and pledge allegiance to the flag while 2 cups is in the building, I need you to leave.
Okay, I can get behind that. I love 2 cups. Yeah, he drank 2 cups and then he was horny.
Yep. Yeah,
2 cups of something.
2 cups of what they describe as something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, they get her real nice and drunk just in time for them to do their mission.
And she has a panic attack because they didn't tell her anything.
Right, and that's like the point, I guess.
But they could have told her that they weren't going to tell her anything the night before.
They could have given her any kind of briefing on this at all. Like, I'm supposed to get behind this at all?
No, we got to keep it dramatic.
It's interesting, too, because not only is her life on the line, but potentially theirs as well, so you feel like there would be a mutual...
But they were also hungover.
So what you're telling me at the beginning of this show is that I missed this because I guess I wasn't paying close enough attention. They have an opening sequence where they have a lady in the military like doing stuff and calling the shots, and then they do a flashback to a different but similar looking woman and her backstory.
Yeah, that's right.
So similar, we're not sure who it actually is.
Well, you see, the difference is one of them is Gamora from Guardians of the Galaxy, and the other one is unrelated lady.
Right. I guess isn't Gamora like green or something?
True, it's not. She's not green in this.
Well, not yet.
Right.
So yeah, I guess that's why I was confused because I just assumed it was the same character in both scenes.
Yeah, they do a time jump that's weird because
giving me an unrelated backstory to a different character from the past?
Well, when you put it like that, Keo, it is extremely stupid.
It's like, oh, how did she get in this situation? Well, I don't know. Check out this other character who looks really similar to her.
I'm the Joker, baby.
In bad lighting the whole time.
So anyways, they bond over shopping like women do, and that's the cliffhanger.
Yeah, somehow the plan is working, even though I think they had a moment where she forgot her fake name for a minute, and she just stares blankly for like really long time.
Keo, you have to understand. Luckily for all of them, she has an extremely high charisma stat.
Yeah, I just assumed that the terrorist daughter would just assume that she was like yearning for her lesbianically, and that's why she forgot her name.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, they are like fast friends. Like, if this was me, I would be going home by myself. What'd you say?
Where's God 1 million?
Yeah, exactly. If this was me, I would go home by myself.
So wait, I do have to go back and ask a question here, Keo and Stair. You guys weren't confused about how much time may have passed because Zoe Saldana's character has a husband and children.
Well, she has an ex-husband and children.
No, they're married still, I think. It's just that they seem to have a different...
She has to call? That doesn't seem like marriage behavior to me.
What? They live in the same house. Why are they not married?
I thought he was just being nice and letting her stay.
I figured this was years later. I didn't question that part. I just thought there was just another person coming in years later after she's been with the military for a while.
I'm just glad this didn't turn into a scenario where I was talking about the comedic tension in the show or some shit for an hour.
I don't know. What
and then we had to look up what Blorgus19 said about the show to confirm whether or not it was true.
But Swanson, the crazy thing is, I was able to watch the show and comprehend it perfectly well, thinking that the boss lady was the one from the flashback, and it made the same amount of sense.
It seems like actually me telling you the correct version of what happened, it made it make less sense to you.
Yes, it did. I mean, it both ways are very stupid, but I guess my brain had to make sense of that flashback, which showed a different person from the first one. And again, especially in poor lighting, and you don't know what makeup they have on exactly.
Oh yeah, this show looks like shit, we should mention.
It's not great.
This show is filmed through a filter of like butter.
Yeah, it's like they're like, oh, we're in the desert, so let's put some dust on the lens.
Yeah,
or something.
Yeah, I don't.
So I can get the confusion, and also the two characters are in just sort of standard issue military garb. Like they're not similar
distinct at all, really.
I'm just glad that I wasn't the only one struggling to tell them apart.
Yeah, they also don't really make a point to have their mannerisms really different at all.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's almost like conformity is a big part of the military.
Yeah, that's true. Although, I don't know, the conformity is still there when they're not in the military, so I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that's true, because everyone else in the group that we meet is definitely not conforming. Like, everyone in the group looks distinct.
Yeah.
Outside of the two of them. So that's, yeah, I guess there's a point there.
We'll never know. But what I do know is whether we tuned in or tuned it out on this program.
Yeah, what do you think the answer is on this program? What do you guys think?
Maybe if I was like a 18-year-old watching this on MTV, stoned out of his gourd, this might be good. And in that sense, I guess this show is adequate for that target audience.
If you've never seen a show that has an abusive boyfriend, you might be impressed by the backstory in this one, maybe.
If this show had more scenes like the lady running into the recruitment office, like that sort of high-level, ridiculous, rah-rah military propaganda shit, I would be maybe a little more willing to be like, yeah, let's give it a try. But instead, we have just long sequences of military training and people talking about military training. And it all looks bad. So tune out.
Be gone.
So that's a tune out on Special Ops Lioness.
Also, wait, the boyfriend tortured her, and the worst we saw was him punching in the flashback.
Oh yeah, that's true. Because when she's being strip searched, or not even strip searched. When she's being stripped, she like shows off some of her scars, like an electrical cord she was whipped with.
Yeah, so that's why I thought it was a different character, because
there's no indication that she was literally like tortured by the boyfriend. Like, right. She seemed like stunned that she got punched once. Like, she was like in awe at this, but apparently, it doesn't make sense.
It definitely feels like they wrote one scene and then they were like, we got to add some stuff to this other scene.
Yeah. Well, it's a tune out.
Yep, that's a tune out on Special Ops Lioness. And hey, that'll about do it for this week's episode of the show. As always, of course, if you're listening and you're like, what if they watched something good? Something that I want them to watch?
Nope, never gonna happen.
Yeah, the only way that I can think about it happening even a little bit is if you go over to buymeacoffee.com/tvtuners. A single coffee will give you a single episode for us to watch anything you desire. It's buymeacoffee.com/tvtuners. And hey, that'll about do it this week, guys. Till next week, keep watching. It's over. Bye.
I found him.
Hey folks, time for the TV Tuners fact of the week. Did you know that Stairmaster invented the 5G burger?
No. I'm happy to announce my next product, 6G.